5-yard line as Steve Lofton picked up the fumble by Mike Hinnant, the tight end.
You know, Hinnant trying to get that extra yardage. You can't fault him. He's going for the extra yardage. Did get free, but it doesn't matter where you're on the field, but especially down here, you've got to hold on to the football. And you saw him release. They had a blitz that time. Montreal machine. Both outside backers came. You'll see one come from the right of your screen, and the tight end releases right across here. Now see him hold on to the ball. Bang, he gets hit again. Still trying to get that yardage, but he doesn't get to see the hand come in. That time by number 57, Dan Murray. Didn't see it because it was from behind. And then an alert, Steve Lofton coming up, picking it up and running in down to the 4-yard line.
Well, turnovers hurt losing teams badly in the first week of the World League, and there's Mike Hinnant, who is stretching for those extra yards, a former Temple tight end. And now
Sweeney has to call a timeout. That 35-second clock was down to 8, and he calls a timeout.
There's the time clock that went down. They motioned that that timeout was called by Barcelona, which is surprising. So that's a timeout charge to the Dragons, with Montreal knocking on the door at the 4-yard line. And time now to look at the Coors Silver Bullet passing statistics, the standings of the World League quarterbacks ranked statistically. Kerwin Bell, you see, with an outstanding start. Orlando's the one team in the World League that has had its offense cranked up the first 2 weeks. 9 touchdown passes already. You see Lee Saltz of San Antonio and Scott Ernie of the Dragons, both of whom are playing their second games of the season this evening. And that's our Coors Silver Bullet passing summary tonight.
Take a look at Steve Lofton, the left cornerback. He came up and made the fumble recovery. Now, oftentimes the guy will try and pick it up and run with it, never gets it, but good showed the good hands that time to give him great field position inside the 5.
And Elroy Harris is back out for the machine alongside Sargent. Harris gets the ball. And he is short. Not by much.
Once again, Montreal loading up that right side with the 2 tight ends, number 80, Keith Jennings, number 86, Katie Dunn, and just giving it to Harris around the right side, showing the play fake to Sargent up the middle. But again, down the goal line, in order for it to be a touchdown, the ball in possession must break the plane. Player doesn't have to get in the end zone. The ball's got to break that plane.
With that quick spot of the ball in the World League, the play clock's already down to 12 seconds. So you can see this league is really encouraging aggressive, fast-paced football. Second down and goal. Sweeney trying to go over center, and he got nothing. Boy, Barcelona's middle of the defensive line stood right up.
You see Sargent, number 47, the fullback that time. He tried to help Sweeney along, which you're not supposed to do. You can get a penalty for that. You can't help your own ball player along. You can do it by blocking, but not by helping him. You look at Jacques Dussault and Faragelli, the offensive coordinator. Keep an eye on 47. All right, he's on the left side of your screen. He's the fullback. Now, Ernie's going to try and get in. Doesn't get it. Now, watch him. Here he comes. He's helping him along. Now, they're not going to call that because it's not so obvious, but he's trying to get the ball in the end zone. Don't want to settle for 3 down here.
Sweeney just tried to call a play while putting his shoe back on. 3rd down and goal. And over the top, Sargent is in for the touchdown. Roderick Sargent, the first home touchdown for the Montreal machine. And he wants the football. He spiked it and rolled out near the seats, and he just went over to get it. He wants it back. Now what do you do with it? You got to frame it. Trophy it.
Key down on the goal line as you look at Jack McNeil trying to get the explanation. Key down on the goal line for those types of plunges. You want to gain the line of scrimmage and give Sargent a chance to jump over, and that's what Montreal did.
With Chris Moore holding now, Nitmo will try the point after. Well, we have 4 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and thus far it's been a controversial pass interference penalty and a fumble that have hurt Barcelona. And the Montreal machine in their home debut off to a 10-0 lead.
Okay, here you're looking at Kevin Sweeney, number 9. Just turn and hand off the ball. The key thing is offensive line, get penetration, allow Sargent to jump over the line. He does. He has a touchdown.
That only took 4 yards after the fumble recovery by Lofton, Steve Lofton, for Montreal. And there's Lofton out of Texas A&M, which is the #1 school in terms of representation tonight. There are 7 Texas A&M players on both of these teams. And now the machine in their kick formation as Nippo drives it. 10-0 Montreal, and Paul Palmer will start from the 1. Palmer did a nice job to get by the first wave, and then he is out to the 24, where Adam Bobb made the special teams tackle. Well, we have been able to insert a wireless microphone into the shoulder pads of Barcelona quarterback Scott Ernie. Let's listen.
5 Trey, Paul. You're coming over top of me, behind me. Let's go. Let's go. Move to double left. 5 Trey. On one. Ready?
He is going to hand the ball off behind him, and Palmer's going to come. He said over the top, so that's behind him. He will just turn and hand it off to Palmer.
So he's the lone setback with 2 tight ends. And there's good blocking, and Palmer is out near the 30.
It doesn't matter what league you're talking about, but trends develop. You've seen it in the run and shoot. You've seen it just using the shotgun. A couple years ago, Washington Redskins started using that counter trap. Well, that's what that was right there. Take a step to one side and bring it back the other way. Palmer for some gains, about 5 yards.
Well, with a guy like Palmer, who was, much as 2 years ago, led Dallas in rushing, and Lydell Carr, you can expect Barcelona would have a strong ground game and lean on it. Second and 4. The Dragons haven't had the ball much. Now Ernie going up. Oh, there's a great catch by Gene Taylor in Montreal territory. Marvelous fingertip grab by Gene Taylor, who in his college days was catching these from Montreal quarterback Kevin Sweeney.
Now Taylor looking in. He's number 81, realizing the blitz. He's got single coverage, just runs it down and in. Lofton giving him some space. This is a great catch right here. Reaching out and catching a good throw that time. But again, the blitz picked up well, single coverage. He's got no help from the safety. Lofton's got to get a little closer.
Big gainer, 28 yards.
Liz to Eagle left, 860 Bob, 8 snag. Liz snag. Rip, yeah. Blue 38. Blue 38.
Palmer in motion. 4-man rush, dump it to Palmer over the middle. And it's only good for about 3. The machines swarm over that one. Ray Savage, linebacker from Montreal, making the tackle of Paul Palmer for a 3-yard gain.
One of the toughest patterns for any defense to cover is the underneath crossing patterns. If you play a zone, which they did that time, you settle in underneath. If you're playing man-to-man, he's running away from you. That time, Palmer just settled in underneath, gain of about 3 or 4 yards.
Second and 7 from the Montreal 40. First chance for Barcelona. And it's Palmer. Same play they ran on the first down. And Palmer does a nice job, and he is right at the first down stick inside the 33.
Same play as you said, that counter. And that time, the Montreal defense went with their passing defense. They kept only 2 down linemen, went with the 4 linebackers, a 5th defensive back. And what does Barcelona do? They run successfully for the first down.
Well, the Dragons have strung together a couple of first downs. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's 10-0 Montreal. Davis in motion, the tight end. Paul Palmer gets the ball. Got outside, and Palmer is right close to another first down at the 22 before Darrell Holmes of the machine runs him out.
Well, if Montreal can do it, so can...
Second and less than 1, Dick. You got a spare down.
It's field. Jimmy, you're in there for Paul. Hurry up. Field. Okay. It's far eye left, 6 zone.
As far as pressure.
Let's go. Let's go. Far eye
What
left.
happened on the
6 zone. On one. Ready?
That was communication that came down to Dick Curl, the offensive coordinator, who then relayed it to Dick Nell, who sent it over the walkie-talkie into Ernie's helmet. They said it's a free play. Second down, less than a yard, and they give it off, and Jimmy Bell got stung, but the former Boston College running back got enough to get the first down for Barcelona. One of 5 Boston College players that Jack McNell brought to Barcelona, but And Jack was very careful because he said this is like a college team. These players in Barcelona live together, eat every meal together, travel together for 3 months. He said we only wanted quality people, good people. First down now at the Montreal 21, last minute of the quarter. Ernie to the end zone for Taylor. Oh, and it went through his hands. It may have been tipped by Richard Shelton, the Montreal defensive back we talked to you at the beginning of the game about.
That is a great play by Shelton because he dives at the last second just to get it appeared. He got his hand on it, and Ernie didn't have much room in the end zone to throw it farther. It would have been out of bounds. And you see Shelton just diving at the last second. Absolutely got his hand on it. Good play by Shelton. Cornerback, probably the toughest physical position to play in football.
Richard Shelton, who played for Pittsburgh and for Denver, and the machines say simply our best football player. He's been the guy that's most surprised them. 2nd and 10. Ernie to Palmer, got hit behind the line and falls forward. Ray Savage made the play to bring down Palmer on the last play of the first quarter. So the quarter ends with Barcelona driving, but the machine and the machinettes are happy. 10-0 Montreal after 1.
This sports update is brought to you by Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Taste them again for the first time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to TSN Control. The Atlanta Braves and Expos worked out a deal today. Montreal sent speedster Otis Nixon and a minor league infielder to the Braves for catcher Jimmy Kramers and a player to be named later. Nixon hit .251 with only 1 homer, but had 50 stolen bases last season.
Dave Martinez had 2 more home runs yesterday. I guess they didn't have the situation, so it made it where they either had take another look at Marquise Grissom, and I saw the situation getting a little bit tight, where all these guys are having good seasons. What are you going to do? So, you know, in my situation, I'm a free agent next year, and they got 2 young center fielders here, and another club that needs a center fielder or a guy that could, you know, play in a role situation over there in Atlanta. I can help those guys in that area, so I think that's why they made a deal.
I'll be back with a full recap of the day's events right after the football game. We'll see you then.
The world's largest pilgrimage center, St. Joseph's Oratory in Montreal, devoted to St. Joseph, the patron saint of Canada, built in 1924. This wonderful city of Montreal. Those are the mechanics. There are over 400 members of a fan club. The mechanics have embraced the Montreal machine. Barcelona did not convert a 3rd down at all last week against New York, New Jersey. They were 0 for 12. This is their 2nd 3rd down try of this game. It's 3rd and 10. And it is caught. Gene Taylor, touchdown Barcelona.
I'll tell you what, that was an outstanding play by Taylor, getting his feet in bounds before he fell out of bounds. You saw Bignell holding up the 1, meaning go for the 1 point, because remember, in this league, you can try 2. He was holding up the 1 finger. Great toss by Ernie, because especially considering Ernie rolling out to his left, here it's going to be to the right of the screen, but he's rolling out to his left, and he is a right-handed thrower, so to throw this as well. Now keep an eye on Taylor's feet. Does he get him in bounds? Does he get him in bounds? 1, 2, yep, he's in bounds before his backside hit out of bounds, so a good play.
That's developing into a pretty good matchup. Gene Taylor against Richard Shelton. But Taylor wins that battle. Massimo Manca, former Penn State kicker, puts it through for the extra point, and after 1 play of the 2nd quarter, Barcelona is on the board. Here's a matchup, one of the better receivers in the World League, Gene Taylor, against a fine defender in Richard Shelton.
Remember a few minutes ago I told you cornerback is a tougher position. Shelton's playing pretty good defense right here. He's there, but he's maybe 6 inches away. A great catch, pretty good defense, but that's why cornerback's tough to play. You give the guy 6 inches, that's a touchdown, folks.
That's a pretty good way for the first 3rd down conversion of the season to come from Barcelona. They were 0 for 13. That 3rd down play got him a touchdown. So it's 10-7 Montreal. And Mike Cador drops that one in the end zone. And now he's got a little alley up the right side. And Cador who was a teammate of Elroy Harris, the Montreal running back at Eastern Kentucky, gets it up near the 30.
You got Dick Curl, the offensive coordinator. He's doing a little chalk talk on the sideline with his offensive players.
You know, Dave, not only did Jack McNell want to bring players he liked and players who were good guys with him to Barcelona, he brought a lot of his old coaches from Boston College with him.
Taylor, who just made a great catch. Gene Taylor wearing number 81 tonight. Normally he's number 80. Had problems with his jersey, so he's wearing number 81 tonight.
Barcelona had a lot of problems. Barcelona's locker room was vandalized at Montjuic Stadium after their opening win last week. All their uniforms, pads, their radio helmets that have been devised for the World League, all were stolen. And the Dragons coming out on this road trip to the States with just one set of jerseys. First down, and Sweeney gives to Elroy Harris with some room. And Harris gets a first down.
You know, Ted, remember I told you about trends, how Palmer running the counter? Well, this time, hey, if Barcelona can do it, Montreal can do it also. The counter, where Elroy Harris, number 32, will take a step, in this case, to the right, let his lead blockers get out to the left side, and then he follows behind. Nice first down run.
Montreal center Dan Graham got out through the first block that sprung Harris for a first down. He got 13 on that play. Dunn splits out, some three wideouts for Sweeney. And he's got a man open, Keith Jennings. And he is down close to the Barcelona 35. Jennings a tight end now, but he played a lot of wideout at Clemson.
Seeing a lot of two tight ends tonight. Jennings looks as though he might have done something to his wrist, but of course when you catch it, it makes it feel a lot better. You saw Katie Dunn going out to the right, the other tight end, so settling right in the middle is Keith Jennings. He lost the linebacker number 55, Brad Quast, and settled in for another first down.
Well, this is more of the type of game that I think World League folks expected. We've got two teams pretty much going up and down here. As Harris runs in the middle to the 32. Brad Quast for Barcelona on the tackle. Well, Gene Taylor, we mentioned he caught passes at Fresno State from Kevin Sweeney. His receiver mate there was Stephen Baker, that football fans know well from the New York Giants. And the Dragons went 77 yards for their first score. Second down and 6, and Harris again got a couple of tough yards inside before Eric Naposki, 91, made the tackle for Barcelona. Product of Connecticut. Naposki, like most players in this league, Dave, they've had their cups of coffee. He's been with New England and Indianapolis the last 2 years.
One guy that was picked up recently, center Dan Graham, has really solidified this offensive line for Montreal.
3rd and 3, quick pass, good catch by Willie Sneed. And Montreal has a first down inside the Barcelona 20. Adrian Jones on the coverage.
We've had a great matchup between Graham, number 50, and here he moves Reese inside, number 92. He has handled him very well the last 3 plays. A slant pattern to your left receiver. Just a quick drive, and there it is.
So Montreal quickly moving down to the Barcelona 19. Harris has 32 yards already in this game, and he'll get about 3 or 4 more there. You know, take a look at Bruce Clark. Now, there are not many players in the World League like Bruce Clark. He's 32 years old. He played in the Pro Bowl. Played in the Canadian League coming out of Penn State, but then a long, successful career with the New Orleans Saints. Second and 6 now. 16. Montreal Sweeney. He's going to get pressured here and got rid of the ball as he was going down. And yeah, I would say so. That's Eric Lindstrom, and that's clearly if there's ever a definition of grounding, Dave, that's it.
No question. See, some people think that if you throw it towards the receiver, that throws it off. It's not the case. If you're dumping a football to try and eliminate the sack, and here you'll see Sweeney, he's actually almost in the grass, so he just gets rid of it coming in from the right side. Eric Lindstrom, he just thrown it over there to avoid the sack, and that almost looked like a backward pass, so that should have been either a penalty or a backward pass recovery.
Sweeney got away with an incomplete 3rd and 7. Montreal now at the 16 of Barcelona. Cobb on the blitz, and the pass is short. Intended for Sneed with Glenn Cobb on the coverage.
And Dan Graham is down on the ground, the offensive center, number 50, who has done a good job on this drive. He is down, and he's got a timeout.
Well, every time a guy goes down in a World League game, they get that team in Dallas ready. When players are cut by World League teams, they're sent to Team Dallas, which stays practicing readiness, and replacement players for World League teams come from Dallas.
Now Graham, number 50, the tight end. Let's see if anything happens. He gets rolled down by number 55, who is Brad Quast, and that's just a tough thing that happens, and he just blew out his knee right there. Don't know how bad it is, but you could see it, folks. That is not that was a chop block in any way, but that's why they outlawed the chop block, because that's what happens in this league. Still allowed to be used in the NFL, but not in this league. Jacques Dussault looking on is Dan Graham, although Graham gets up and he's walking off in pretty good shape, so maybe it wasn't as bad as what it initially looked like.
Dave, what's your experience been with the knee braces that you see a lot of, especially college offensive linemen wear now? Do they provide any extra support, stability?
I think they do, and you know the amazing thing, I've seen some of those bent out of shape, and they take the damage and the player doesn't, but I don't, you know, the knee was not made for football. I mean, plain and simple.
Well, now Montreal has to move Bob Kulo, who's a guard, over to snap here for this field goal attempt of Bjorn Midmos. Chris Moore will hold it. This will be a 33-yard try. Midmos already hit one from 45. And he hooked that one. Not close. So Montreal has a good long drive down the field, but it stalls and they come out empty-handed. And with 9:54 to play in the first half, there's a good sign. Graham is walking, and Montreal Network is proud to continue to be your network for coverage of the first 2 rounds of the Masters coming up in about 10 days. From Augusta, Dan Graham being worked on again on the Montreal sideline. The Machine lead the Dragons 10-7. And those names will become familiar. I tell you, once everybody around gets a chance to see these beautiful logos, the Barcelona logos. The Dragon, just a beautiful melange of colors. As Ernie goes deep down the field on first down, but his receiver, Tim Edgerton,
he was just throwing it away because there was double coverage, and a smart play by Ernie. That's okay to throw it away under those circumstances. He was not about to get sacked.
There's Scott Ernie again.